Good morning. My name is Tanner Scott. I'm the Director of Operations here at Explosive Touch Enterprises in sunny South Florida. And this is our first video. I figured if I'm gonna do it anyways for a job, right, every day, then I might as well just record it. And if it helps you or helps me improve myself in the future, then why not do that for you and I? So today we have a 8-minute show over in Clearwater for the Clearwater Threshers. They play at the Baycare Ballpark. And I'll take you on the journey for that. So it's a pretty small show today. Only 23-inch racks, so 200 shots total. 12 fours, so 72 shots total, and 5 fives, 25 shots total. I'll take you on that journey with us today, and let's start heading that direction. Alright, we've made it here to Baycare Ballpark, home of the Clearwater Threshers. I've met up with my co-worker Hunter. He's also a streamer. Hunter, come say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
Hunter, if they wanted to see what you do in your everyday life, how do they find you?
Oh God. Well, you can follow me on Kick, TikTok, and really anywhere else. It's just Silent Renegade.
Silent Renegade on multiple platforms. So this is our shoot site today. Pretty basic open field. Just nothing going on. There's a stadium there in the background. So the show will be just left center of center field there for their viewing pleasure later tonight. Like I said, we have a very small show. Only 23-inch racks, 5 5-inch racks, and 12 4-inch racks. So only 8 minutes long, and I'll come back to y'all when it's time for show.
Here we go.
Alright, so we finally finished nailing these together, setting those up the way we want them. Let me take you on a walk here and show you how we did it here. So as you can see, these racks are specifically angled in a fan shape. That's what gives the finale the great sky full effect that you see at every show. It's as very simple as this. When we're loading, I'll show you how I load them so that, you know, each cue and each press of a button sets off each individual shell or chain itself, right? but it still gives that nice full fan effect. It's not lopsided one way or the other way. And these are over here, this is our body, so everything over here is straight up. We really don't want this fanned because then your audience is looking left to right, right to left. If you're ever sitting in the front seat, the front row of a movie theater, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So for show wise, this is pretty small for what we usually do. Now I always get the question, you know, why do you use boards with nails? Why do we do that? Well, one, the main reason that every pyro usually does this, or every professional pyro does this, is it creates a solid base for these racks, right? So if I take this and they say something happens, it's not falling over. It's not going anywhere. It's fine, it's safe. We always keep the racks angled this way, and in reference to the crowd, right? The crowd's here, racks are what you call vertical on the screen currently. Why do we do that? Let's say we have a massive failure in this rack here. This rack's on the end. This rack falls over. It's shooting that way, away from the crowd. Nobody's in danger. Now let's say these racks are horizontally placed, right? So stacked backwards towards us. That rack falls over and it goes that way, straight to the crowd. So you always got to be cognizant when setting up this kind of stuff to make sure that you're doing it as safely as possible in the event of an emergency. We never anticipate an emergency, but we never plan. We always plan for it to happen. Sorry, I'm mixing my words here. Now, a lot of people always ask, you know, why nails versus screws? Can't you use screws? Yes. A lot of companies use screws. That's okay. A lot of companies use rebar, where they attach like an eye bolt in the end here, and they drive a piece of rebar straight into the ground. Is it secure? Is it going to work? Yeah, it is. But we do not use screws because drills, batteries, right? Things that you need to maintain, you need to keep up on. If I was to go out and buy, you know, 3 drills with batteries per show, is what usually have 3 people on a show. You know, this 4th of July, we have 20 shows on the 4th of July. So now I need 60 drills and minimum of 60 batteries. It's not economical at all. Right now I have to remember to charge those things. In my infinite time, I'm gonna go charge a whole bunch of batteries. Not likely, right? We do almost 300 shows a year. I do not have time to do that. My boss EJ does not have time to do that. These guys, they have day jobs. You know, they're part-time help, and we're so gracious for it, but they do not have time to do that. So the alternative, $100, a bucket of nails that'll last you 20, 30 shows, and hammers, so $20. Cheap, efficient, quick to do. Okay. So that's all I have for the moment. So I'll come back to you guys when we are loading shells. You get to see how we do that.
Invincible.
All right, now we've got some shells dropped here, so I can take you guys on a little walkthrough of that here. So in our finale, right, I have my shells dropped and I have my E-matches sitting on top. I have yet to wire the E-match in, just because I like to drop all my stuff first and then wire and then plug into the mod. All right, every company, every person, they have their own process, their own procedures, their own preference. This is just a preference thing. I prefer to do a job completely once. Drop shells once. Wire once. Right? Not dropping shells, wire, plug. Drop shells, wire, plug. Over and over and over again. No need for that, in my opinion. So then, now, these 5-inch, these have been dropped and wired. So, as you can see here, the shell is in the tube. The wire is plugged into the E-match port. Now, a common question we get is, why is it wrapped around like that and all that? Well, because if you can imagine the violence of a fireworks shell going up, it's pretty easy to dislodge or break something that's already loose. Right? If it's not secure, it's not safe. If it's not safe, you probably won't be a pyrotechnician for long. So, it's wired. We always run the wire here, right down the side of the tube and through this and through the hole here. And then once I get everything plugged in where I want it to go, we will then run this along the edge here of the board, put some tension on there, and then wrap it twice around the nail like that. Why is that? Same concept. This is plugged into a mod with many other cues. The last thing you want is there to be something loose. The violence of this shell coming out of this tube, ripping this wire so hard that it rips it out of the mod, or rips everything else out the mod with it. And now you suddenly have half of the show because you didn't do enough precautionary pre-planning to realize that, you know, this could happen. So we always prefer to do it like this, just so that when the shell goes off, it yanks on the wood here, yanks on the tube here, yanks on the nail here. This is not going anywhere out of that mod. It is stable, no issues. Over here we have Hunter and Brian dropping the body stuff. These are what we call time chains. Okay, so instead of each being individually wired, there's one E-port, and when I hit the match on this whole entire top fuse will instantly combust like that, and this shell will fire first. Now, why doesn't this chain fire all together? Because of this. It's just fancy cork from China. So when all 10 of these light, it lights this cork, and they're specific sized specifically to go up every 3 seconds. So this will fire, then 3 seconds later this will fire. But it's all with one E-match. These are 5-inch, just standard singles. And there's the 4-inch. So the fire marshal's here, so we'll come back to you here in a moment.
Invincible.
Okay, we are officially done setting up and wiring everything into the mods. The firing system, let's go over that real quick while I'm here. We use the Cobra 18R2, which is at the moment the top of the line product that Cobra makes, CobraFiringSystems.com. It's capable up to 99 channels, or really up to 100 channels if counting channel 0, which I never use, just preference. And can connect to either 18Ms or 72Ms, along with several other products that they sell. A 72M is basically just a module that has 72 Qs. We use onboard Qs, not quick plugs, because we find that if we want to series things or parallel things together, it's significantly easier doing it without having to cut all the quick plugs off. So we just bite the bullet and wire everything with wire terminals. This here is an 18M, only 18 Qs, so smaller version. The 72M is 4 of these in one. So we use these for smaller things, like, you know, these 5-inch here. We probably could have stretched the wires from here all the way over to the 72M and made it work, but why do that and kill ourselves and everything else when we can just do that? Just put an extra mod in. Redundancy is always great. Finale is also done, all wired into a single 18M. And that's basically just the gist of it. So now we are show ready. I've already continuity checked, which means I have connected the remote with the mods in test mode. I have gone through every channel, made sure that I could see every firework that I plugged in today, and everything's checking out great. So we're gonna go up, have some dinner in the ballpark here, enjoy the game, and I'll come back to you at showtime. All right guys, I'm back. Top of the 9th inning here, going on 3 outs, so it's about showtime. Bring you live inside the stadium here. Quite a beautiful ballpark, if I must say myself. A lot of new ballparks being built nowadays actually come here and take some inspiration from what Jason and Doug have going on here. They're doing an incredible job. Let's put it, say the least. Say Jason, GM of the Threshers, incredible guy. Doug, GM of the ballpark, incredible guy. No one else that we would better call our friends than them two. So now, for the time you've been waiting for, it's firework time.
Now it's your turn. You gotta help me count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
just like that, the show went off as a great success. We just checked the tubes after a required cool down period of 15 minutes. We always, any experienced pyro or any safety oriented pyro and or fire department will make you do a cool down, which is basically, you know, everything's hot, right? We have shells, we have cakes, there's so much going on. How do we know and can be sure that all these shells and cakes went? We can't. Even though as the shooter, every action I had of push a button, I had a reaction of a shell or cake. I know that, I saw it, I felt it, but you still never know. So the cool down period is something that we go through. That way, any shell that may be left out here, that the ashes have a chance to cool down and there's no inherited risk to us when we come over here and start breaking down, unloading tubes, I guess you could say. Hopefully there's none to unload, except hopefully everything went. So yeah, so Hunter, you said that we had you got a what, 100% show is what you said?
That is like the first time I've seen a 100% every shell shot.
Well, he doesn't work with me often, that's why. But usually I have everything go.
I've worked
but
with you
the
so many times.
occasionally we have one or two that doesn't go, and that can be due to any variety of factors, right? Bad match, bad port on the mod, maybe I didn't push the button hard enough, maybe we plugged it in wrong, right? Any factor of things. So yeah, we usually have 2 or 3 things that didn't go, so we safely put that back in the van, take it home back to the mag site where we store that safely. But tonight, 100% show, so we're going to break down, and I'll come back to you after that. That's it. So it took us about 30-45 minutes to clean everything up and pack everything away in the van. Next episode I'll show you how we pack the van, for any of those that are curious at how we pack so much stuff in a van, not just a truck. We raked everything up for the ballpark, so tomorrow they'll have a little bit of work to do for the grounds guys, but you can't get it all unless you go little by little. In the daytime would be the easiest, so they understand that when we signed the contract and everything's squared away, that there is work on both sides for us and for them. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed the episode, I guess you could say. So this will be the first of many, and as you can see, I'm not home. This is a hotel room. We usually don't stay the night. When we do shows like this, we usually just drive 3 hours home and be done with it. But I've actually scheduled and planned to fly out of Tampa here tomorrow morning, early, and go on a little 4-day vacation. My childhood best friend, he's getting married tomorrow, so congratulations to Cameron. Shout out to him. Exciting times. So, like I said, our friends over at Baycare Ballpark and the Threshers, incredible people, Jason and Doug, absolutely very thankful for everything they do for us. They're actually willing to keep our van for a couple weeks while I'm away, and actually our next show is there, so there's no reason to drive it all the way home when I can just come back and get it next time. So that's it for episode 1, and hopefully many more to come. We'll see how this does. My name's Tanner with Explosive Touch Enterprises. Stay explosive.